All right there, singing world. This video will offer Italian pronunciation help for the aria Tu lo sai by Torelli from the 24 Italian aria book. We will explore the tips and tricks to help you sing your aria without accent and also discuss the proper open and closed vowels, other non-phonetic things such as phrasal doubling and also assimilation. But before we do that, please direct your attention to the description of this video below. I have supplied you with the text with all of those non-phonetic things. You'll notice that there are phrasal doublings, and I have also notated the open vowels. Besides that, there are various links to my websites, my Facebook fan page. Also, there's a very important link there. It's to a pronunciation dictionary set up by Rai in Italy. This is a great site. You can either follow the link below or type in RAIDOP or RAI Dizionario. That's Rai Dizionario, and it will take you to the link from a search engine. This site, you can type in any word and it will tell you the pronunciation of the word. It will tell you whether the E's and the O's are open or closed. It also has a playback button. So you can play a native Italian saying all of the words. It's a great resource. I've used it for years. I strongly suggest you check it out. So let's begin, shall we? We'll start with the text one word at a time, and then we'll do entire lines. When we do one word at a time, we'll go through every single detail, every single aspect of pronunciation to get rid of your accent, and also we will explore all of the mistakes that you could make while doing this aria. Okay, so here we go. First word is tu. Okay, so tu is a pure u, and what I mean is that Italian vowels are pure. American or English vowels are not pure. What makes a vowel pure is the motion of the jaw and also the harmonization to other letters. Okay, so Italian vowels stay in the same position. So when we say the word in English, you, and I said it in slow motion, you see there's harmonization, right? So if you sing also to, right, even that slightest bit of that will give you American accent. So you want to stay ooh, right, to, and not move. The word tu is also what's known as a strong monosyllable. So if I were to say the first three words, it would be tu lo sai. So you notice that I've written out a double L. So that's what the meaning of a strong monosyllable is a one-syllable word that causes the next word starting with a consonant to have a double consonant. So right away, there's that little non-phonetic thing that happens, right? Tu lo sai. So the L of lo doubles. Now, O's and E's in Italian, the printed O and printed E, right, which is O and A, are phonetic. But there's another non-phonetic vowel that happens. So an O can either be what is said closed, O, or open, aw. So in this case, this lo is a closed O, right? In no way does closed mean it's any more closed when you sing it as far as your throat, right? You don't sing a closed vowel more closed than an open vowel. They're absolutely the same, right, when it comes to singing. It's just to distinguish the two vowels, right? So O closed, A open. So this one is lo. Next, sai. So here's another example of how Italians do not harmonize, right? We have things in English with this word like guy, and it ends up down here, right? Guys, right? Guys. That's the way an Italian would say it. See, it's e, sai, right? So this is a very basic 101 aria. So we will go through all of the 101 type Italian, right? So this is going to be very, very basic Italian through this whole, and this is short enough that I can get this detailed. So e, right? You do not harmonize. And the other thing in Italian is you say every vowel you see. So A is always A. It's a phonetic vowel. I is always E. never changes. A, E. And you do not compromise. Next, quanto. Okay, so now let's talk about voiced and unvoiced consonants, right? So the first sound you make in this word is a K, and it is unvoiced. And the second big consonant you have in this is T, and that is also unvoiced, okay? So all consonants come in pairs of voiced and unvoiced. So what I mean by that is if you have a K, the cousin to K is ga, right? So if you say ka, ga. So if you notice that the ga is in the same position as ka, but the big difference is ka does not use voice, doesn't phonate, right? Ga, your vocal cords are engaged. So my point of all of this is, in Italian, even when something is ka, it is not ka as we do it in English, right? Ka. So somebody says, I want diction, I want stronger consonant. That means ka. It doesn't mean ka with the air through it, right? So that's one way you can have an accent, right? So a good way to practice is gua, qua, right? You practice the voiced, then you do the unvoiced, but just at the point where it's unvoiced. That's the Italian one, right? And then you can practice the one that's way wrong, right? So you can do gua, qua, qua, and note all the differences in how that feels, right? So all of the consonants in Italian, you want to find that spot right where they become unvoiced, and that's the Italian one. So let's do to, also tu, right? So T and D are the relatives of voiced and unvoiced and voiced. So T, D, right? So they're both dentals. D, T, right? So T is the really unvoiced English one, right? The Italian one comes from where the D is. So if you do do, to, do, to. So the T can be as strong as you want, but it's right at that point where it is unvoiced. Okay, so a lot of consonants you can sound as if you have an American accent by unvoicing them too much. Okay, so that's the point. So let's do quanto. What happens to the N? The N assimilates into the T. You're going to say to with the tip of your tongue, so the N is right there, and it actually phonates. So N's that touch another consonant are going to phonate. They're going to have vocal cords on them, right? Quanto. And you actually have to have the pitch of the music on there, right? So when you're singing tu lo sai quanto, right? So that N is going to sing. Let's go on. Tamai. So this is a great word to practice the harmonization or the non-harmonization rule. You have a phonetic vowel, and E. So amai, right? E. So first practice the vowels, E. When you put the consonants in, it should feel exactly the same. Tamai. Okay, again noting how much the T becomes just enough to become unvoiced, right? Also, the M is a single M. So let's demonstrate the difference between single M and double M. So if you did double M in this word, it would be wrong. Like this, tamai. So there's double M. How do we make double M? Is that I hold the lips in the M position while I phonate. That's it, right? So if I go that's double M. So if I do in this word tamai, I'm saying everything basically right, but I have a double M, right? So what's the difference between single M? I don't allow my lips to be held while I phonate. Tamai. And you see, very fast M, no phonation on the M. Okay? So single M, tamai, double M, tamai, and you only want the first one. Okay, going on. You repeat to losai. Lo is a weak monosyllable. A weak monosyllable does not cause a phrasal doubling. And believe it or not, in Italian, the weak monosyllables are actually fewer than the strong monosyllables. Weak monosyllables could be probably counted on 2 hands. And someone has actually written a list of all of these, right? If you've ever seen the book Singer's Italian, it's a green book by Evelina Colorni. You might have had it in 101 diction. A lot of people use this book up until the 80s. I don't know if the book is even in print anymore. It probably is. But Evelina Colorni wrote a list of all of the strong monosyllables and all of the weak monosyllables. It's about 4 pages from the end of her book. So lo is a weak monosyllable. So that means it's losai. It's not losai. That would be a strong monosyllable. See, I did double S. So lo is a closed O. We haven't had any open vowels yet. We're about to have one. But lo is a closed vowel. Sai, we've already had, right? No harmonization. So now we have the word crudɛl, which is short for crudele. Okay, so now we have our first open E, right? So E's can be, again, is a non-phonetic vowel. That means that you have one symbol for 2 sounds, right? So E can either be like A in hey without the glide, or in head without the glide. And what I mean by the glide is hey. My jaw moves in English. Hey does not move in Italian. Head, my jaw closes in English, right? And harmonizes the vowel. Head in Italian, it just stays. Okay? A. So close D, A, open E, A. So crudɛl. So now this E is open. Okay? So let's talk about R. R's roll when they touch a consonant. Krr. So the R in crudɛl, the R touches the C, so it rolls. When R's are surrounded by vowels, they are flipped. Okay. So I don't know if we have an example in this aria. We probably will not. But most of the R's you see in this aria are rolled. Let's go on. Io. So this is the word for I in Italian. And usually it's set on 1 note and you have to sing 2 notes. Io. Io. My phone's going off. That's why I was looking around. So now the next word, non, is a closed O. Non. No, when you say no, it's open. Non is closed. Non. Okay, so now you notice that I've made that IPA symbol that looks like an M. So this is what happens. This N will assimilate into the B. So if I were to say non bramo, watch what happens really fast. What happens to that last N in the non bramo. Okay, so what happened? I'm about to say bramo. To say a B, my lips come together, right? Bramo. So the N assimilates to the B and never goes in my mouth when I speak, and it ends up on my lips. Non bramo. I'm going to do it really slowly, and this is actually wrong, right? Because I'm going to hold it too long. But in slow motion, it looks like this. Non bramo. Okay? Now, if you did that when you sing and you phonated on the M as I just did, it would be wrong, right? It has to go by so fast, it doesn't call any attention to itself. Okay, so now I know what you're thinking, right? What if you did the N in your mouth, right? N-O-N, right? And you're trying to sing legato, right? So, non bramo. Non bramo. So what happens there? Your N to sing legato is going to have to, your tongue is going to have to come off, right? So you do the N with the tip of your tongue. Non bramo. In order to sing legato, you have to release your tongue and then bring your lips together for that B. Non bramo, right? So that's not so ideal for singing these two words. What ends up happening is you end up with a shadow vowel, right? Instead of non bramo, non bramo. Italians do this all the time when they speak. Okay, so there are 3 ways to do this, and 2 of them are wrong. Number 1, the right way, non bramo, right? Doesn't call attention to itself, it goes by really fast. Number 2, the N in your mouth, non bramo, with a shadow vowel, right? And then number 3, the one where you basically do it correct, but you double M and you phonate, non bramo. That's just going to sound funny, and it's exaggerated. So you take a good thing and you exaggerate it, it becomes a bad thing. Okay, let's go on. So now the word bramo, the R touches the B, it's going to roll, right? How do we roll an R? An R in Italian is in the same position as a D. R, D, da, but only with the tip of your tongue. So if you say a D, your tongue is flat, right? Right? So your tongue is flat. But if you say a D with the tip of your tongue and then continually roll it, that's how you get it. So your tongue has to be able to reach that ridge. So if your tongue can't reach the ridge, you're going to have to find a way to fake it. And people will fake a rolled R with the back if you can't do that, right? And I know people who are really good at faking it. So that's what you have to practice. But if your tongue can reach the tip, right behind your teeth, the ridge, that's your rolled R. So, bramo, bramo. So, the M is a single M. We've already done single M, so we know, right? Not bramo. That would be the common mistake. And then the O is closed in this. Okay, so now let's talk about another principle. Okay, I'm going to give you a lot of formulas in this aria, and you can apply to other arias, or you can watch my other videos where these formulas will be repeated in other arias. So, you have in Italian, you have stressed vowels, or in all language, you have stressed vowels and unstressed. You have stressed syllables and unstressed syllables, okay? So in the word bramo, you see the accent is on the A, and then the O is unaccented, right? So the good news in Italian is all unaccented syllables are closed vowels, okay? So you have about 75 or 65 to 75% of your vowels fall on unstressed syllables. They're all closed. So they're all O or A, right? So you know anything that's on an unstressed is going to be O or A. So in this case, bramo, closed O. Okay, good. Going on. Altra, right? So this is how you practice this word. Two unharmonized A's, right? The L is going to assimilate into the T. Altra. So right where you're the point where you're going to say tra, the tip of your tongue, that's where the L forms. Altra. And L's and M's and N's before consonants are phonated, right? That's what I hear missing. Altra. Where we don't do that in English. We keep our L down low. So to sound American is to go ultra, down here. Altra. So it's a lot brighter and it's up. The L stays. And the L stays on the roof of the mouth with the tip of the tongue while you phonate. Okay? Next. Both of these E's in this word are AA. Right? So the first, I hear a lot of rhymes with the English vowel when people sing it, and it's wrong. Chair or air. So I hear mercè, right? And this is AA, mercè. So you can practice mercè. So now we have an accented syllable at the end, right? And an accent on the last syllable. This is not common in Italian. Most Italian has the penultimate syllable is stressed, right? So this is a word that ends on the last syllable. Now, last syllable E can either be open or closed, depending on the word. So we have words like the foot, pied, open, right? Dia, once upon a time, he gave. dia, right? Dia, that to give, right? Mercè, on the other hand, perché, those are closed stressed. So there's no rule. You have to memorize those, right? So mercè, a, rolled R because it touches the C. Let's go on. Ma is a strong monosyllable, so it causes the R to double. So here's an interesting phenomenon, because usually R surrounded by vowels is flipped. So take, for instance, the word caro, that means dear, versus the word carro, which is a thing with wheels, like a train car, right? One rolls, one doesn't, right? And it changes the meaning of the word. Caro, flipped R. See, how do I flip an R again? I go to a D with the tip of my tongue. Caro, right? It's like saying cado, caro, but only with the tip of my tongue, right? So usually this would be rricordare, right? So rricordati. So the second R rolls because it touches the D. The first R would be flipped because it's surrounded by vowels, except the ma is a strong monosyllable. So you say rricordati. So here we have two rolled R's in this. Okay, so the word ma again is a strong monosyllable. Now, rricordati, where is the accent? Da, right? So the O is a closed O. So let's just practice the vowels in that word. I, O, A, I. I, O, A, I. Right? So the reason for practicing the vowels is because when you put the consonants, you don't want the vowels to harmonize to them, right? Rricordati. Now, you should have had the same feeling, and you realize that now that O might have been going R for that R, right? And that's what we do in English, right? So going on, the word di is of D. It is a weak monosyllable. Weak monosyllable, so it does not double the M. So Americans tend to do the opposites, right? So Americans will say dime and double the M. No, it's not. It's single M. Dime. Okay, ME is closed. The word DI as the preposition is a weak monosyllable, right? Now you're going to see DI also meaning day, poetic, with an accent. That one doubles. Okay? So when you see DI with an accent, it means day. It's old-fashioned Italian. No one says that anymore. The word now in modern Italian is giorno. But DI is with the accent doubles. Going on, e poi. Notice I've double P. Why? The word for and is a strong monosyllable, and it doubles. So the word for and is closed. Here are the first two words you memorize in Italian. The word for is has an accent on it, and it's open. It's a. The word for and, also single E, a. Both of them double. E poi. Okay, and you'll notice the doublings when I read the whole line, right? So how do I do a double P? So let's go over double P. Do I actually do two P's? Let's be Socratic, right? Let's ask questions until we find the truth. Do I really do a double P? E poi. Did you hear two P's? No, right? There's just a space. So what happens? Let's go through it step by step. I say a vowel before the double, right? The A, right? A, I stop phonation. So there's a space, there's a rest, right? Then I go up to the double P. And I don't say it. That's the double consonant, right? So poi, double P. You see how that works? Again, right? I say a long vowel. I stop phonation. I go up to the P. I don't say it. Poi. So you can practice that, and then you'll be great at double consonants, right? Poi. So the expression of the double comes from the space, not from the force of the consonant. It's not a poi, right? I'm excited. No. That's how we get excited in English. Italians get excited by elongating vowels. Ppɔi. See? So it's always the vowel. It's not the force of the consonant. Now notice that POI is an open O. So the open O symbol is that broken circle, right? It's a broken O. O gives you that sense of that it's open, right? And that's the first open O we've had in this piece. All the O's have been closed. So ppɔi, right? So it doesn't rhyme with boy. I hear people say poi all the time. Americans, poi. Famous opera singers sing poi and boy and noi. Cut it out, please. It's not. It's two separate vowels, even though the E is a semi-vowel, right? A semi-vowel. Oi, right? Italians, when they say B-O-Y, boy, and they have a heavy accent, they say boy. I saw a boy, right? So it's like if you think about David Bowie and you didn't harmonize, right? Boy. So it's A-E. Boy. Okay, so that's another one to practice. Let's go on. Sprɛzza. So sprɛzza is open E and a double Z. A double Z can be like the Z in pizza, or it can be like the DZ in mezzo. And that has to do with whether the word had a D in Latin. Okay? In this case, this ZZ is TZ. So sprɛzza. So if I were to have the DZ, I would write it out as DZ in my music. So open E, rolled R. Okay, going on. U is always U. And now, notice in the next word, iŋfedel. Now, we have another N assimilation. You've noticed there's an IPA symbol there. Then this is the assimilation before fricative. So the fricative consonants are F and V. So they're done this way with the bottom lip against the top teeth, right? Fa, right? Fe, ve, right? That. So bottom lip brushing against the top teeth. So how does this N assimilate? Well, it goes there, right? So if I were to say really fast, iŋfedel, look what happens. Did you see? It's so fast, right? Iŋfedel. This is the hardest N assimilation to get if you haven't been born an Italian speaker. Iŋfedel. It's also the hardest to teach, right? Iŋfedel. So, let's go through the process. You're going to say fe, the N goes there. Iŋfedel. Now I'm going to do it really slowly, and this is going to be wrong again because I'm phonating on the N, right? I'll do it in slow motion. Iŋfedel. That's slow motion. Now it goes by so fast that you don't give your lip a chance to get stuck and phonate, right? Iŋfedel. Okay, so practice that. Now, again, what if you were to put the N in your mouth for this? This is what would happen. Iŋfedel. What happens? I have all of these different motions. I can't sing legato. I'm going to do it again. Attempting to sing legato, right? Iŋfedel. In slow motion. The reason for the shadow vowel is that your voice is attempting to keep legato going. So it has to put a vowel. So you end up with the shadow vowel. So it's not that great, and you go all out of line when you're trying to sing. So the best one is the option of the disappearing N on the lip, right? So now there's another way to do it wrong again, and that is to phonate, right? Iŋfedel, too long, to exaggerate. So you don't want that one either. That one's going to sound really strange, and you're going to get a weird note, even though you're technically doing it right? You're just phonating too long. Okay? So again, the last one is iŋfedel, right? And all of the E's are closed, and you notice I've underlined the E's that we tend to open that are closed, right? So it's E, A, A. Practice the vowels. Iŋfedel, iŋfedel, right? Okay, so now we've gone through every single word. Let's do whole lines. And there are only two downs in the poetry. I mean, things are either up or they're down, right? When you rhyme, you complete a rhyme. That's your down. So I'm always saying the Italian sentence is like a wave that crashes on the beach. The end of the rhyme is where the wave crashes, right? So the whole idea of singing long phrases not only comes from your breath support and your legato, but from your mind thinking about things either up or down. Okay, so we try to find one down for the rhyme. So there's an arc. That keeps your audience will go right with you as you do this. Okay, so let's read whole lines now and note all the doublings and how the arc of the phrase goes. So tu lo sai quanto t'amai, tu lo sai, crudɛl. So the down is crudɛl. Io non bramo altra mercè, ma rricordati di me. So mercè and me rhyme. E poi sprɛzza un iŋfedel. And that is the end. Very short but sweet text. So if you have enjoyed this video, please like, please share, please subscribe, and as always, please give me your input, comment below, give me requests. I love to get requests. And as always, don't forget to visit your coach, and we will see you at the opera.